My troublesome little sister just moved back in. You know, she's in and out of the house because she had a teen pregnancy, so she was getting into it with her father's baby, you know, back and forth. And she needed a car. She took my car without my permission. I had no idea she had my car until I saw it was wrecked. So I told my parents. My parents said, you know what, we're gonna deal with it. I wanted to call the police and I wanted to file a claim with the insurance, you know, to get my car fixed.
So wait, you both live with your parents?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and it's your car?
Yes.
Whose name is it in?
My name.
You bought it. All right, and so Ms. Santos, how did you find out that the car was gone?
Because after she wrecked it, she called me. She called me directly, and she wanted me to send AAA to come get the car.
Because she had wrecked the car and was somewhere on the side of the road?
Yes.
And so, Ms. Santos, when did you find out that your sister had taken your car?
When I had to leave for work. I went outside and my car was gone.
All right, and so when this all gets sorted out, you say in your testimony that you're suing for auto damage and breach of contract for the car repair. How does that happen?
So basically, my parents promised me $5,000 as a graduation gift. You know, after my sister did wreck my car, they took $500 from the $5,000 to supposedly get it fixed. Therefore, they only gave me $4,500. But Your Honor, the car, according to my mother, was fixed. They took it to some random mechanic, and I have evidence here of how the car looked after she got it fixed and how it looked after I took it to the actual dealership to get it fixed.
This evidence.
So, Your Honor, in the photo, you'll see that the door handles are white. They do not match. There's discoloration on the door, and they put hood caps on the rims. My roof was also kind of leaking, so if I left it like that on a rainy day, my car would have been flooded. So I had to take it to the dealership. You know, the check engine light was on. It was just not safe to drive, Your Honor. I was so scared to get in that car and put my life at risk because it was not fixed properly.
So does AAA tow the car to a body shop?
Yes.
Where's the estimate for that body shop?
So I have that here.
Let me see it, please.
And it's a friend of my husband, so we got it. That's why we only paid $500 because no one is going to charge you that. But this is a friend.
Did you report this to the insurance?
No.
All right, so you decided not to report it to the insurance and just get the car fixed for $500.
Yes.
Was it determined whether or not this was your younger daughter's fault, or was it somebody else's fault?
Well, I mean, she didn't get into an accident with another vehicle, thank God. She hit like a little embankment, a little wall.
Oh, on the highway.
Yeah, on the passenger side.
All right,
So
and so you decided to get that done, $500 from a mechanic you knew.
Yes.
But you say that was not up to your standards, Ms. Santos.
Yes, ma'am. It was not safe to drive.
And you went and had an additional estimate done, because I don't even see, oh, here's the estimate.
Your Honor, I'd just like to
Door replacement, $150, and roof alignment, $200, $350, and then the mirror for $150 would be $500 you pay him. Now, what kind of car is this? That's real cheap.
Yes. Like I said, only because it's a friend of my husband's. My husband's a contractor, so these are friends or people he's worked for.
Ms. Santos, you're saying your mom and dad took this to a family friend, but you didn't believe the car was still safe.
Yes.
So then you took it to another body shop.
Yes, I took it to the actual dealership, and I had to pay $2,500.
Yeah.
To get it repaired.
Yes.
And here's the estimate here that says, so $1,100 plus a service fee of $600. And then the engine washing. Why did the engine need to be washed if this was body damage?
If you ever owned a car, you know that the most expensive and the longest way to get it fixed would be to take it to the dealership. And in this case, I understand why mother decided to take it to a friend mechanic who would be able to fix it more affordably. However, it does feel like she's been cutting corners when it comes to the car, and she only did the most basic necessary repairs to the car that should not have been taken on the first place. The sister who took the car without the permission should be the one held responsible for all the damages that were done to the car, and she should have been the one to pay for them. And it does feel a little bit lopsided the way the mother is presenting everything. It does feel like the youngest sister gets a better treatment and she's allowed more than the older sister. And the older sister is being held to higher standards. Let's go back.
to be honest, Your Honor, I don't know much about cars. It wasn't like that
Of
before.
course.
The engine light just stayed on. So like I said, I don't really know anything about cars.
So the engine light wouldn't go off?
No.
After she had the accident?
It
the
was
engine
on
light was
before
on.
the accident.
And
You said what?
The engine light was on.
Oh, the engine light was on before she even took it?
Yes.
It would come on and off, but it stayed on after my sister took it.
All right. So once you decided to get this car fixed, Ms. Santos, and then your daughter felt like, Mom, this isn't fixed right, then why didn't you say, well, I want to make sure it's safe for you? Why did you think $500 in repair after a wreck was sufficient?
Because it was fixed correctly. We trust this mechanic. He's been our family mechanic for years. She's just being extra picky. She's, right now she's really hurt with her sister being back, and she feels like we're giving her special attention. But I mean, we gave her $4,500 as a gift for graduation, and that's not an obligation. It was a gift. We originally told her we're going to give her $5,000. We took $500 out to get the car fixed.
But why'd you take $500 to get the car fixed when it wasn't her fault that the car got messed up?
We understand that, Your Honor. It's just that we didn't have all the money to cover it. She just graduated. We gave her a graduation party as well. And, we've had an extra finance burden with my younger daughter being home, and we have a grandbaby at home. And
so now your younger daughter, after taking the car without permission, running into an embankment, and everything else that's going on, she's basically relieved of any responsibility. Is she paying any of this money back?
she's gonna, we told her she's gonna have to, I mean, she needs to get a job as well.
So she has no job. She's taking other people's cars, wrecking them. You going and fixing it the cheapest way you can fix it. You took the $500 out that you promised for her graduation gift to cover that.
Yes.
Now, you promised her a gift of $5,000.
That's correct.
That's something you told her you were going to do for her. You promised her you were going to give her $5,000, but only gave her $4,500.
Yes.
And was there something you were going to use that $5,000 for, Ms. Santos, or you were just expecting a gift of $5,000?
No, Your Honor, I did have a plan. You know, I just graduated high school about 9 months ago. I'm really looking into my future. I was actually going to get an apartment with that money. You know, I'm trying to move out of my parents' house, especially now that my younger sister's
Did you go
in.
sign a lease?
Yes. That's why I really depended on those $5,000.
So you went and signed a lease on an apartment, and what was the down payment?
$2,500.
All right. So in some ways, you acted in reliance on the fact that your mom and dad said to you, "You're getting $5,000."
Well, yeah, they're my parents. So I
but
thought I
it's
could
not an
rely on my
obligation.
parents.
It was going to be a gift.
Hold on.
And this is exactly what makes a contract. If you give up A, you're going to get B. And in this particular case, I can see that the daughter graduated. So she fulfilled her side of the bargain. And the mother promised her a graduation gift if she graduates. And she did. Therefore, she is entitled to those $5,000. And she was counting on that money to put it towards the down payment. Although it does feel like even $4,500 would have been enough. However, she was promised the $5,000, and that's exactly what she's been relying on. Let's go back.
Legally, when you set up and you're going to give a gift, you know, until you give the gift, until you deliver that gift, right? The gift is unenforceable. You could just decide not to give the gift, right? However, when you tell someone you're going to do something, when there is some type of reliance, when someone says to you, I'm going to do this for you, and then in reliance on that fact, you go and do something else, then there does begin to be some protections under the law for people who relied on something other people said. It seems clear to me that your instinct was to give her the $5,000 because you subtracted $500 from the $5,000 for something that was not her fault.
No, and we understand
It was something
that.
you decided to not report to the insurance. Now, legally, there may be some wiggle room as to whether or not you truly owed her $5,000 when it was a gift. But in this courtroom, I'm able to decide what is exactly not just legally appropriate, but in this instant, morally. You cannot bring your younger daughter back into the home, wreaking havoc and causing problems, and allow your older daughter to suffer for that. That's just not right. When you got that one problem child, don't let every other sibling have to bear the burden of the problem child, right? That's your responsibility because that's your child. So it's the opinion of this court that you should not have subtracted the $500 from that gift You also should have made sure the car was fixed appropriately in a way that you know your daughter could rely on and feel safe. I don't think you did that either. I think you did a patch job. So your damages are $1,778 that you paid to get that fixed, because I am not including the engine washing, because I do not think that that was an issue that happened necessarily because of the crash. It was already an issue before. But the $500 that you were missing, I'll add that. I'm going to award you, Ms. Santos, $1,778, which is the cost of your repairs minus the whole engine thing, because it's very questionable if that light was on already, whether or not that was caused by your younger sister's crash. So the $1,700.78 plus the $500 that I think you should not have subtracted for those repairs, Mom, comes to $2,200.78. Judgment for the plaintiff. Court is adjourned.
That seems really fair. So she was out of her pocket to fix the car properly because the way the mechanic did it was not up to standards. If the roof was still leaking and there were other mechanical problems with the car, of course, she had no other choice but to take it to the dealership. And at this point, I do feel maybe she did overspend by taking it to the dealership, because that's the top prices you can possibly get. And maybe if she went and did her research and found someone, maybe not a friend of a friend or family friend, but some other mechanic with very good reputation who would be able to take care of the car more affordably, she would have been in a better place. However, she did what she did, and I can see why Mother was being held responsible for those expenses. At the same time, the promise is a promise. If you promised $5,000 for me as a graduation gift, if I graduate, and I did, I fulfilled my part of the deal. Now it's your turn. And if you promised me $5,000, that's exactly how much I should get. What did you guys think about this case? Do you think the daughter exaggerated a little bit and Mother is not biased, or do you believe she actually is entitled to get the full $5,000? Please put it in the comments below, and thank you for watching.